What's up, people? Welcome to Reviews, where I, Rayden, bring you an array of videos from the anime world and geek culture. Today I'll be reviewing Season 1 of the anime Nanbaka. Nanbaka is an action comedy series that consists of 13 episodes in its first season. It is based off a manga of the same name by Shu Futamata. The anime production for this show is Satellite, who has worked on other anime series including Fairy Tail, Log Horizon, and Macross Frontier. Nanbaka is rated TU14 and is licensed by both Crunchyroll and Funimation as part of the new partnership, thus meaning you can watch this series legally for free in Japanese with English subtitles on Crunchyroll, or in English on Funimation Now with their paid premium subscription. Our story takes place on the world's most heavily guarded and top-secret prison, Nanba. Nanba was created to hold the worst kinds of criminals from around the world. It is said there's no way a prisoner can ever escape from this high-tech facility. Well, yeah, they say that, but it turns out that's not exactly 100% accurate, since the show's heroes managed to break out of their cell in the start of episode 1. These escapees hail from Block 13, Cell 13, and consist of 4 elite criminals who have all broken off numerous prisons before they ended up on Nanba. There's Inmate 69, Rock, a food-loving strongman. Inmate 25, Nico, an unpredictable otaku with inhuman powers. Inmate 11, Uno, a ladies' man and gambling fiend. And the leader of the gang, Inmate 15, Jugo, a talentless criminal with the exception of having the incredible skill of breaking out of prisons. Just as it seems our prisoners are about to pull off the great escape, they are caught by the prison guard Captain Hajime Sugoroku, a no-nonsense hand-to-hand combat expert. Hajime apprehends the prisoners with ease and throws them back in his cell. The funny thing is, Jugo and the gang weren't really trying to escape Nanba, they were just doing it for the fun of it. You see, the fellows from Block 13 have it pretty good at this penitentiary. They eat fantastic meals every day, have access to the internet and TV, and can walk almost anywhere in the prison. These criminals have the luxuries of the rich and famous, so why on earth would they ever want to leave? And that right there is the basic premise of this anime. The convicts have fun goofing off until they cross the line and Hajime has to put them back in their place, literally. It's a simple plot, but it allows our heroes to get into some entertaining shenanigans. However, as the show continues, we're introduced to some of the other guard captains and prisoners of the jailhouse, which somehow leads to a fighting tournament arc found in a ton of shonen titles. Thus, the focus becomes more about the action than the comedy, which I believe to be a big mistake. I had fun watching Nanbaka up to this point, because the setup was all about the characters and their wacky personalities. I enjoyed the cast and interactions with one another and seeing Hajime get frustrated to play the straight man in this crazy world. The sad part is the show's humor seems to slowly fade into the background as soon as the tournament arc begins. I get that after a while the show's writers might want to add something to the overall plot of the series, but episode 4 was way too soon for me. I was barely starting to get to know everyone. At first I thought, okay, it's just going to be a small arc, just so they can introduce all these new characters, and then right back to prison breaks and hijinks. Nope. Turns out the tournament takes up the majority of season 1, so you can imagine my disappointment in Nanbaka's direction. On the bright side, easily the best part of this series is its kooky cast of characters. All of the inmates have weaknesses, which Hajime and his lieutenants used to keep them entertained and stay out of trouble. It was fun to see these hardened criminals be reduced to nothing with a hot meal and some magazines. My favorite character would probably be the warden. She acts very tough in front of her captains and her prisoners in her lavish outfit, but it turns out she's super girly and has a mega crush on Hajime. And it was fun to see how all the captains misinterpreted her body language as threatening versus she's just shaking because she can't stand being in front of Hajime without revealing her true self. Yes, it's childish, but so is my sense of humor, apparently. The art of Nanbaka is definitely something that stands out compared to other anime series that came out this past fall. The character designs of the show has a very unique style. All of the characters tend to have some long crazy hair that usually involve multiple color schemes that really make them pop out at you. The wardrobe used in Nanbaka is quite different from your typical action series. Many characters wear some type of flamboyant or feminine article as part of their ensemble. Let's just say the original mangaka wasn't afraid to change it up when it comes to gender identities and the clothes associated with those identities. I can understand if these character designs might confuse or turn away some viewers, but I found the character designs to be refreshing and got used to them after the first few episodes. While I appreciated the character designs, I really can't say much about the show's background work. It's practically non-existent here. Most of the time the background is simply filled in with a vibrant color. Now, I know anime series often do this, even more so in comedies, but it's really bad in the show to a point it was starting to annoy me just how lazy some of the background art is done here. While this is an art decision that makes the show stand out, the sparkle effect got old with me pretty fast. The animation of Nanbaka is a bit of a hit and miss for me. Thinking about it as a comedy series, I had very little issues with it. My problems with the animation came during the more action scenes. I wouldn't say the animation was bad during the fighting sequences, however, they leave much to be desired. The action is ordinary and is easily forgettable, especially when compared to other action shows out there. If the action had a little bit more style to it, like the show's character designs, I might have enjoyed the latter half of season 1, but sadly, that wasn't the case here. Let's get the bad news out of the way, shall we? The original soundtrack music is either repetitive or bland. I could go on, but there's no point of beating a dead horse. The opening and ending didn't really do much for me either. I thought the opening was too generic and didn't have enough animation to get me pumped up for the next episode. The ending is slightly better as its main cast sings a silly song with cute chibi characters running around getting into trouble. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Nanbaka's music. The good news is both the Japanese and English audio are both pleasant to listen to. All of their characters have a distinct voice and deliver their jokes quite well. If I had to pick sub or dub, I would give my nod to Funimation's dub. I believe comedy anime series simply work better when hearing them in your own native tongue. Sure, the English writers modify some of the original Japanese jokes, but they keep most of them intact and improve upon them for a Western audience. My shout out for best voice actor goes to Ian Sinclair, who plays Hajime. He plays the character perfectly. He knows when to be menacing as well as when to emphasize his voice when shouting for comedic effect. I didn't think Funimation would be able to match the original Japanese voice cast, but I'm happy to say they brought the goods in this broadcast up. To recap, the characters are fun and create amusing interactions for the audience. The layout of the show allows for funny, unique situations in the beginning, but unfortunately gets ruined by the predictable battle shonen nonsense. The character designs are ridiculous in the good kind of way. However, the lazy backgrounds bring down the overall production quality of the show, and it doesn't help that the animation is a mixed bag depending on the situation. The music was either dull or annoying for me. The somewhat saving grace of Nanbaka is its actors, including the English dub. So with all that in mind, and based off my own enjoyment and preferences, I give Nanbaka a 2 out of 5 and a recommendation to skip it. At the end of the day, I wanted a comedy series like in the first few episodes, but instead I ended up getting an action series that was just and it's a shame that the show went this direction. But hey, that's just my opinion. What did you think of Nanbaka? Leave me your thoughts down below. Also, if you have a request for an anime you would like me to review, feel free to do that in the comment section as well. No guarantees, but I'll for sure take your request under some serious consideration. If you like what I do here, please share this video amongst your friends and hit that like and subscribe button. That stuff really helps me out and I appreciate all the help I can get. Look me up on social media if you're into that kind of thing. And lastly, but most importantly, thank you so much for watching. I was Rayden, and I'll see you guys again on the next episode of Ray Reviews.